my loves, welcome to the channel Finalizing. Today's tutorial will be on how to create this beautiful piece and personal, this beautiful Ankara piece. Do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up and see you in our subsequent tutorials. Normal basic body. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to explain. I have my shoulder slope. This is my arm area. I'm here to include my armhole curve. This is my chest line. I'm going to label it as C. This is the bust line. From the shoulder line to 10 inches is my bust line. From the shoulder line to 13 inches is my under bust cut. Alright, and from the shoulder line to 16.5 inches is my half length. Now, the next thing I'm going ahead to do now is I'm going to divide what I have on this armhole area into two to get the midpoint. So I have 7.5 inches. When I divide it, I'm going to be left with 3/3, and this is it here. So from that point, I'm going to come in by 1/2 inch. This is to enable me create my armhole curve. Alright, so from this 1/2 inch now, I'm going to be connecting to my shoulder slope I have here. Sorry, my marker is very bad. So now from this point, I'm going to connect to my shoulder slope, and this is what we have. Alright, now from this 1/2 inch, I'm also going to make a curve into my chest line using the curved part of my rule. This you can also do freehand. Okay, so this is what we have. Now at this area now we have 4 inches from the center point inwards. This 4 inches is for our darts, our nipple to nipple measurement. So I marked it on my bust line, I marked it on the under bust and on my half length. Because this is a bustier piece, now I'm going to label this as the side B, side bustier, and this as the center B, center bustier. Alright, so from here now, the center bustier, I'm going to mark 1 inch on my half length, and I'm also going to mark it on my under bust. I'll go ahead to connect these 2 points together, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to come to the side bust. I'm going to mark 1.25 inches on the half length. Same I'll do on the under bust, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to go ahead to connect these 2 points together, and this is what we have. So loves, the next point now we're going to go ahead to do now is we're going to be connecting this to our bust line using the curved part of our rule. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead to connect these 2 pieces together. And this is what I have. I've gone ahead to make my curve. Now on my shoulder line, I'm going to be working with this shoulder slope. Go ahead and divide your shoulder slope into 2 to get the midpoint of your shoulder slope, the midpoint of your shoulder slope. And here I have mine. I'm going to be making a connection from that shoulder slope to my bust line that I have here. And this is what we have. So now the next point we're going to go ahead to do now is you're going to determine how deep do you want, where do you want your over bust to be. Okay, so for this tutorial I'm going to be working with 5.5 inches for my over bust. Please note that you can use lower depending on how open or how wide you want your neck to be. You can decide to work with 6 inches, 7 inches, depending on how deep you want your cleavage to be. Alright, so I'm going to be working with 5.5 inches for this tutorial, and I'm going to make a rule across the points. Now loves, we'll go ahead to tighten our over bust. So from this point now, which is the side of our pattern paper, I'm going to mark 0.75 inches. Inwards, I'm also going to mark 0.75 inches. This I have, and I'm going to trace it down, connect it back to my bust line. And this is what we have. Alright, so the next thing we have to do now is we're going to be marking out our body measurements. I'm going to start with the chest line, where I will start my bust measurements, which is 8.75 inches. I'll go down to my half length and I'm going to start my waist measurement, which is 7.5 inches. Having done this now, I'm going to impute these measurements I have here. These parts are all going off. So I'm going to be inserting it back to my pattern paper. Here I have 2.25 inches. I'm going to put it back to my pattern paper. Here I have 0.75 inches. I'm going to put it back to my pattern paper. Then I'll proceed to join these two together using a straight line, and this is what we have. All right, please note that this is not your seam allowance, neither are they your stitching allowance. This is what we have removed here. We have added it back to our pattern paper. Now we work on the neck area proper. Now we're going to be working on the neck area. From what we have on the thumbnail, it's kind of it was shaped. So now this is where our over bust is. From that shape line, that intake we have here, now that leg I have here, from that leg I'm going to mark half an inch inwards, and this is my half an inch. All right, now from this half an inch I'm going to be connecting to my neck line here, my neck width here. And this is what we have. Now this is how the neck area is going to be. Okay, so now should in case you think it's too up, you can decide to work with 6 inches to avoid it being tricky on you. So that's what I'm going ahead to do. I'm reducing my old bust. Alright, so I'm going to be working with this. So I'll go ahead and adjust the measurement I have earlier. So you see the same thing. I'll mark my half an inch in, then connect it back. Alright, so approximately I work to 6 inches instead of 5.5 inches. So this is what we have. Now we'll go ahead to cut out our piece. So this is what we have. What we're going to do now is to transfer these pieces to our fabric. Alright. So my loves, this is for my side bust here. This is what I have. Okay, I'm gonna have to transfer it to my fabric, and I marked half an inch. Okay, so this half an inch is for my joining, the stitching allowance of my bustier. I'll do the same for the center bustier. So my loves, this is my bustier pieces. This is what I have for my bustier pieces. All I have to do now is to join these 3 pieces together. First of all this, then this. Okay, then I'll do the same thing for my lining piece, then turn it out. My loves, when I'm done, this is what I have. Okay, this is what my bustier pieces looks like after joining it. Now I'm going to be turning out the neck area, this neck area, and the armhole width. So my loves, this is what I have after turning it out with my lining piece. I have some excess at the lining areas which I'm going to trim off. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to join my bustier piece, that is this upper part, to the down part of my gown. That is the skirt part of the gown. Please note that I did not turn out the side, that is the arm area. I'm going to be making a piping on it. So at this point I'm done with my back piece, and this is what I have. Now this is our flay we cut out earlier. All right, so there are 2 ways to this flay. You can either turn it out with another piece of it, cut out to turn out with one, or you can fold the end, the base with a cotton bias, but for this I just went ahead to fold it in once and fold it in again, so I folded in twice. All right, so whichever one works for you is totally fine. So now I'm going to introduce my front piece and join the two shoulders together. Now this is my back shoulder and this is my front shoulder. Okay, so I'm going to be placing it this way, right side facing each other. Now I'm going to place my front shoulder in between my back shoulder so that these rough edges will not show. All right, so I'm going to place it this way. Use this to cover this. That means the front piece is in between the main fabric of the back and its lining. And this is what I have, so I'll go ahead and run a stitch on it. So my loves, at this point now I'm done with the shoulder, and this is what it looks like. This is what the inside looks like. Okay, you can't see the rough edges. Now the next thing I'm going ahead to do now is I'm going to pipe the armhole or the arm area using a bias, cotton bias. All right. So my loves, this is my dress. The next thing we're going ahead to do is to shape the side of our dress, which I've marked the shape line. But before then, I'm going to be fixing my cone, my fillet to the side of my dress. Now, this is how wide my cone is, okay? And it's going to fit in here. But I want to do a little bit of this, something a little. I'm going to like adjust it while attaching it to my dress. So it's not going to be as long as what we have here, okay? So that it look a little bit fuller. That is what I'm trying to say. So, but you can decide to cut more to add to your flare. You can decide to work with just one flare. You can decide to work with more, 2 or 3, depending on the volume or how wide, like how full you want yours to be. So for this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be adjusting it a little this way, okay, to create that fullness. So I'm going to go ahead and attach it from my waist to wherever it stops. All right.